Hit it, Jimmy.
Ready.
We're letting this one ride out the entire episode.
Ride it out. Full episode. This is dope. Nope, not yet.
Now,
Yeah, okay. Whew.
welcome back, everybody, to another episode of King of the Court. I am your host, Tyler Loon. I was about to say Jimmy. And we got our co-host,
Jimmy Miller. In the
Jimmy
house,
Miller.
as usual.
How's it going,
good-
Jimmy?
good.
How was the weekend? It feels like we were just here last week recording this.
I know. Seriously, I just feel like I need a room in your house.
Yeah.
So let's
We got a nice spot in the garage out by the dog. We got a nice dog.
Wow. That's how you feel. So
We're going to start off this episode
Sponsor
with our
time.
sponsors. We are very appreciative towards our sponsors. Because of them, we're able to produce these shows, and we may even be going into multiple episodes a week with their support. Do you think people want to see Jimmy's face more than once a week?
I don't know, dude. I've been getting a lot of grief, by the way, for my outfits.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
This
like,
one comment was roasting you.
Yeah, like listen, I'm not above reproach here. So if there is a stylist out there, let me throw this out. Hit me up.
They were
Listen.
saying that you were kind of going along with different fruits or something. weren't
Yeah, like just because I like to wear so colorful things, they said I look like a different fruit every week. And like, listen, I went black today because one, it's slimming, and two, name a black fruit. Okay, buddy. So yeah, I feel like, listen, fat kids have feelings too. They're just harder to find. Okay, so help me out here.
All right, moving on. We got the Pickler Shop. And guess what, Jimmy? It's been a long time coming.
What do we got?
We got our own
Yes,
code.
let's go. Where's the hand clap?
It's right here, applause.
This one. Yeah.
So we got our own code that will support us directly if you use it. So if you love us or you just want to save yourself a little bit of extra money, use code KOTC, which is King of the Court, at checkout at thepicklershop.com. They are your one-stop for everything pickleball related: paddles, bags, balls,
All of it.
everything. And do you know how much of a discount we're giving?
Well, the rumor is it's such a great discount due to MAP clauses,
MAP violations.
MAP violations. We actually aren't even allowed to tell you how big of a discount it is.
No, that is more than 10%. But yes, due to MAP violations, which is why you have all these ambassadors who say, message me for a discount, because they can't advertise that price. Same with us. It's going to be more than 10%. But yeah, use our code KOTC. It supports them. It supports us. And they are a great company. They have almost all the products you can need for pickleball. Moving on, we have
Crown Pickleball.
Crown Pickleball. So both of us actually had the opportunity to use this last week. You hit with it for about an hour or so.
Yeah, we played several games with it.
We did not play together.
We did not, just because, truthfully, I'm a little bit too high level for Tyler, and I just didn't feel like playing down that day. You know, sometimes you want some competition, but
Yeah.
so we did hit with it for about an hour. So here's my feedback. I'll be very honest about my feedback with Crown Pickleballs. Okay, one, we played indoors, but it did not lose its shape in that hour of playing. And number two, we didn't break a ball. We tried. I actually tried. I'll be honest. I tried to break a ball, and we couldn't break one, which is great. I will say that it's not quite as hard as a Dura, but it's definitely harder than a Franklin. So I think it's that perfect happy median that honestly I think a lot of people have been looking for. Because I do think that people don't love Duras because they are so hard, they lose their shape, they crack. You can go through several. Where this is like that perfect touch between the two of them. You're not playing with that squishy ball. And you're
Not sure which one you're referring to.
Yes. And you're not playing with that super hard Dura. It's a good combination between the two.
I echo Jimmy's sentiments. I only used it for 30 to 45 minutes, and I had very similar feelings. It did not crack. I love the color. I think more colors, more ball colors will start going towards this direction. Yeah. It's a little bit easier to pick up.
Very easy on the ice.
And yeah, it didn't break. And kind of repeating what Jimmy said and what a lot of other people say, I truly do feel like it's a blend between the Onyx Durable and also the Franklin. It's not quite as soft as the Franklin, but also it's a little bit softer than the Dura. It does not deform, at least it didn't in our experience.
Yep. The other thing is that, you know how the ball gets like the fuzzy ball syndrome? I don't even know what it's called. You know how it gets like roughed up? It did not rough up.
You weren't hitting hard enough.
Maybe. And biggest key to Crown pickleballs, the net does not decompress the ball.
Dent the ball.
The net does not dent the ball. It's crazy.
Anyways, super cheap. Cheapest balls out there. $8.99 for a 3-pack. If you use KOTC, you get free shipping. I'm going to give credit to all you guys. Apparently, they got sold out of balls last week.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
During our episode, and so they love it. Keep using our code to support them and get great balls for pickleball.
Great balls for pickleball.
All right, next, mod balls. We love mod balls. This is, in my opinion,
we have a theme, balls.
Yeah, balls. If you're a ball sponsor, reach out to us.
Yes.
Mod balls. I eat it. It's great during the day, not only for pickleball, for normal daily activities. It's going to give you that clean fuel to keep you going throughout the day. This is my favorite flavor. They have 2 flavors, but I enjoy this flavor quite a bit more than the other one. Both flavors are great. However, this is my preferred flavor. Jimmy takes it on the daily.
I do. I love mod balls.
He actually told me a dirty secret that he takes it with ice cream.
If you take a mod ball, you crush it up, put it in your ice cream, I'm telling you, 1, you feel good about it. Feel a little bit better about eating that ice cream. Number 2, it's delicious. Okay, so just throwing that out there.
Anyways, we do not have a KOTC coupon yet. We are still using my last name, Loong, Loong 1010. Use that at checkout, and next week we should have a direct coupon code for us.
We will celebrate that as well.
Awesome. Thanks for your support, sponsors. We love you. Wouldn't be able to do this without you.
Yes.
All right. So there's not that much to talk about this time, except for I feel like a lot of the buzz has kind of been on MLP. Season 2.
Season 2 is coming. So the way MLP will work is every single team that was in the Challenger League, regardless of their scoring, will now flop. And they will all become Premier League teams, and every team in the Premier League will flop to Challenger, and then they will redraft completely.
Oh, before we get going, tell everybody the big news.
Well, listen.
We won't say which team.
We won't say which team, but last time on the podcast, sometimes in life, kids gather close. This is like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Have you ever seen that movie, by the way? It's pretty good. With Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
It make you feel good about yourself?
Yeah. It's a feel-good movie.
It is a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so gather close, get on the carpet. Sometimes when you put things out there, look, I'm looking right in the camera too. In the universe, good things happen. So last time on our podcast, I might have casually mentioned to, any owners out there that need a GM, hit me up. It happened.
Sure enough,
an owner of a team, we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's and figuring some stuff out, reached out and offered me a position as assistant general manager
to the GM.
Assistant to the assistant general manager. I will be getting coffee assistant general manager for what I'll call one of the OG MLP teams. Right now, the plan is for me to be in New York for the season 2 draft. It's very limited who they're allowing at the draft. I guess this one is going to be completely different than in the past. Mm-hmm. But he's giving me a seat at the table for the draft, and I'm going to help draft their team.
And this owner reached out, and he wanted Jimmy to watch film.
Yeah.
He wanted you to study up on up-and-coming players.
So here's what I'm going to say. This is not a publicity stunt. He is.
Maybe it is.
Maybe. But he is taking this very serious.
As it should be.
As it should be. This is a lot of real money on the line, and it's people's livelihoods. And I'll tell you this about this owner. This owner is a pickleball fanatic. He knows everything about every single player, and it's no surprise that his teams have been extremely successful. And yeah, it's wild. Like, he's like, listen, these are the things that, that I do. I watch film. I look at stats. He said he's not a huge stat guy. He goes more off of feel, but still, he's like, I want to know who's the left side player, who's the right side player, what teams have reached out to them in the past. Are they committed to the full MLP season? What injuries are they nursing? What are they dealing with? What's going on at their home? I'm like, okay. So anyways, if you are a player that is eligible, by the way, for the Challenger or the Premier League, reach out to me, please. I might have some questions for you.
Anyways, yep. So as of now, the plans are that you would be in New York for the draft, and up until then, you're doing a lot of research. You're looking at old footage, and you told me you just caught up on season 1, a lot of the Challenger matches.
Yeah,
correct?
so I watched most of the Premier matches live. I didn't make it a secret in the last pod. I'm more of a Premier than a Challenger guy, but I did watch almost all of the Challenger, the last 3. I watched Mesa, I watched Daytona. And I watched San Clemente. And look, there is some players that are good in Challenger, but there is a massive, massive gap between the top of Challenger and the bottom of Challenger. And I think that gap is even larger than from the top of Premier and the bottom of Premier. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's huge. I think that we go from professional players to good 5-0s. Mm-hmm. I really believe that. I think that, I think I'm not.
Who are the good 5-0 players?
I'm not trying to throw anyone on their bus, but that's, it is what it is. CJ Klinger wasn't great.
He was good this last time.
He was good because he had nowhere to go but up. Okay. He wasn't great. Summers, is it Becky Ryan? Can't remember that. They're not great players. A lot of times as I'm watching these players, I'm like, they're just, they're fine. They're good players. They're good pickleball players, but we're talking about professional pickleball. Mm-hmm. And I don't even think they're Challenger level. And so
you won't be drafting them to your team.
No, I wouldn't. No, 100% I wouldn't. But again, I don't know. When you get down to it, what are your options? I don't know how that draft is going to shake out. And maybe you hope that they've improved. It's been a few months. I don't know. But there's a lot of these players that just, there's some very good players. And I'm going to go on record. This is going to hurt my heart. But watching film, deep breaths, Jimmy. Christian Alshon wasn't bad.
Who?
Christian Alshon wasn't bad.
What was his name one more time?
No, that's it. That's the only time I will ever say it. He was not bad.
Tweener King, you mean?
If you can get past the dumbass, stupid things that he does, like tweeners from the kitchen trying to speed people up, and the ATPs that he tries to hit from midcourt, thinks he can hook just weird. He does weird stuff.
So you're telling me that me and him have a shot?
I think if he falls in line, he knows his role. He realizes that that stuff doesn't work. Just do what you do and be a good player. I think that he's decent. I really do.
I agree. And the only thing I'll say with that is they were in Challenger.
You didn't even fill my water.
They were in Challenger. It's a little bit easier to make it look like you're doing well when you're playing against that level of competition.
And I agree with that. And his results on the PPA Tour have not been good, right? Oh, look at that. It's a true friend.
There you go.
His results on the PPA Tour haven't been good. But we have always talked about, you and I, we've talked about this for as long as I've known you, since you were knee-high to a grasshopper. Partners matter. And Christian's not playing with good partners. He's yet to play with anybody.
Rafa Hewitt.
Wears sunglasses indoors.
MLP champ.
Wears sunglasses indoors.
BLQK.
Enough said. Yeah. Rafa. Okay.
Okay.
Who else? Who's he played with in mixed? Megan?
Yeah. And they've actually done okay.
Okay. Yeah. But so I think that you will be the best partner he's ever played with.
Thank you.
I'm
putting
saying
this on record. This is on record.
I'm saying that sincerely. You will, and I'll be curious to see how that shakes out.
Should I do a collaborative post with him with the Tweener King?
Stop. Let's not.
And we can
somebody said
double market.
Somebody said that they should do a drinking game for as many times as they say Ernie King and Tweener King together. No. Let's not do that. Honestly, let's just forget this ever happened.
You want to.
And let's get through this tournament. and hopefully our friendship stays intact.
All right, moving on. Who moves up? Who moves down? So
Okay.
to begin with, from what we've heard, Matt and Lucy will not be playing in season 2.
Yeah, Matt and Lucy.
Paris is in.
Paris is in.
Any other?
So there's still
other
20.
names?
There's still 24 hours left for people to decide.
Yes.
I think tonight or tomorrow is the deadline. The draft order will come out sometime this week, I've been told. So we'll know the draft order as well. Here are my thoughts. I don't think many people on the men's side will change places. Okay. Matt will open up a spot. I think that the potential options of players that will change, I think Eric Lang and Matt are both gone. Okay. Obviously, I think sorry, Eric, I think that's just my opinion, but I think those two will open up a spot. I think Kyle Yates is on the bubble, depending on who can come up. And I think that, I don't know. I mean, I think people are going to overlook Zane's piss poor performance because the Pandas were really, really bad. So I'll say Zane stays. He should stay. Zane's he's a very good mixed player and he's a good singles player.
He was drafted number 1, right?
Yeah, he was first rounder.
Yeah, and he drafted Matt.
Yeah, he was a first rounder. He's not a bad, like I said, I think Zane's a good player. I just think that they had a really bad. And then the other person who I think, due to injury and due to just the fact that he was bad, is DJ. So I will make my bold prediction. I will say Kyle Yates, DJ Young, obviously Matt Wright, and Eric Lang. Those 4 are booted, gone.
Okay.
They are sent to Challenger. See ya.
And who comes up?
I am going to say that the players that come up are Pablo.
So the general consensus is that Pablo is kind of a lock.
Pablo's a lock yes. I think Pablo comes up.
The only thing that I'll add, I keep interjecting, Pablo has done great.
Yeah.
He's done extremely well in MLP and also in PPA. However, with MLP, you do not necessarily get to choose your team. Sometimes you're drafted onto a team.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't like the players you're playing with, et cetera, et cetera. And Pablo, from what I've seen, he does extremely well with Federico.
Yeah.
With Fed Stackstrud. BFFs, they're great. They're friends, everything like that.
They tag team fans together.
However, I do not know how well he does with other partners.
Well, no, and honestly, Challenger's not good. Like the Challenger League isn't great. I mean, there's good players, but I don't think that there's a Challenger, like I would say the Breakers, top to bottom, were the best team, right?
Which I don't know how they didn't win the Super Finals.
No, me neither. Especially you ended up trading whatever that Summers chick for Glasman, Radzikowska, Christian Alshon, Pablo. They should have won the Super Finals. I agree. But I think that they're the best team. But even that team isn't like amazing, right? Vivian Glasman's very new. Eva's hasn't had a ton of success at all, with anybody. But in Challengers, obviously, I think that she played well. So it's hard to know because the level of competition, I feel like Pablo's in the middle, right? And I think Pablo can be interchanged with Gabe Tardio. He can be interchanged with Hayden Patrick Quinn. I think there's this group of 5 or 6 guys that if you put any of them on that team, they're going to have the same amount of success.
Yeah.
And Pablo just looked really, really good playing against players that he's better than. But do I think that Pablo is on that upper echelon of Challenger? No. I mean, he's a 4th round pick. He's going to be picked 45 to 48, in that range. And yeah, I mean, if he's the second guy in your team and you have 2 strong women and, Riley Newman, then yeah, you might have a shot.
Yeah.
But I think if you have Fed and Pablo and Lena and Yana, you're going to be Frisco Pandas 2.0.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I think, anyways, point being, I do think Pablo moves up. I do think Christian's going to move up. I think that same situation, that guy, I think same situation. I think that he is going to get picked off of potential. The finals are not till December. So you have
the first event for the second season isn't until September.
Yeah, and then you go September, November, December. So reality is, I mean, you have these new players. I think someone takes a risk on them. There's no way if he works hard and he's not a dummy that Christian's not better in 6 months, 3 months, 4 months.
Well, I think he posts a lot that he's out there practicing against the wall and other people.
Yeah,
so.
he's really good at going to the elementary school and hitting against the wall, even if that's a violation of his parole. Anyways, point is, I think that he gets picked. I think he moves up. The other guy who I think could move up, and I don't know, it just depends. I think is Rob Nunnery.
Interesting.
I think Nunnery has.
I thought you were going to say Garnett.
So Garnett's going to be number 4.
Okay.
Nunnery 3, Garnett 4. The problem, Nunnery he's a known commodity. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he had the issues going on. He kind of disappeared for a little bit. There's a little beef there with Ben. Is this the best podcast since Freestyle Boys?
Has to be.
Like, let's not break up like them, okay? For those reasons.
Somebody actually wrote in a question similar to that.
They did?
We'll touch on towards the end.
Anyways, point is, I think Nunnery could move up. Nunnery thinks he should move up. He says he is very adamant that he's one of the top 24 males in the world. He doesn't see why he would be in Challenger again. So that's fair. I think
has he said something recently, or is this just previously?
No, recent. Yeah, he's talked about it. I mean, he.
Well, how did his team do? Because he was with the Aces, right? The Brooklyn Aces.
Yeah, Brooklyn Aces. So I mean, they did okay.
On paper, they should have been.
They had Tyra and Nunnery. I think.
And Dow, right?
Yeah,
Greg Dow.
And Greg. Well, isn't Greg Dow just for entertainment? Like,
Dow's great. I'd love me some Dow.
Like, do you think Greg Dow is a good player though?
Mixed with the right person, he does well.
Yeah, but who's that? He's always with Scarpa.
Yeah.
He's very loyal to Scarpa.
Yeah, I think they live near each other.
And they're very loyal to going 0-2. Anyways, point is, I think that Nunnery could move up. And then the last one is Connor Garnett. Connor Garnett is an anomaly to me. He is a very, very good singles player. He, paired with the right person, is a good doubles player. Mm-hmm. And I think that Connor Garnett could be that, again, a 4th round, second male with the right person. He could be a good pick. Do I think that there's a huge gap between Connor Garnett and Kyle Yates? Right now, no. But do I think by December there could be? Yeah, I think so. I mean, Kyle Yates
with Connor Garnett taking the lead on that?
Well, I'm just saying, Connor, like if you're choosing between Kyle Yates and Connor Garnett, right? Do I think right now, like head to head, if you put them next to each other, there's a huge difference between the two? No, but I think if you draft strictly off potential, by November, December, Connor Garnett could be
interesting.
I think that he has that potential. And Kyle's not even playing full time, right? Doesn't he run an academy or something?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I haven't been following up with him too much.
So that's my thought on the men's side. I'll be curious what happens. I don't know. It's exciting. I love it.
Women, real quick.
Women.
Who's dropping from Premier?
So Premier, we're dropping Lena and Yana. Okay.
You have something against the Pandas?
I have something against any team that goes over. Okay. This includes Zane and DJ, Lena, and Yana. You literally should volunteer to go down to Challenger. Like, you shouldn't make them send you down to Challenger. You should volunteer. Like, you were that bad this year. It's okay. Just let everybody know, listen, we suck. We weren't good. We volunteer as tribute. We are headed down to Challenger.
As a sacrificial.
Yes, as a sacrificial lamb. Thank you for the opportunity. We understand where we belong. And if we can earn our way back, great. But we don't really want to have you make these hard decisions.
Hey,
like,
you heard it here. They're going to win Challenger season next season.
They belong in Challenger. I hope they do well. That's where they belong. So I think Lena and Yana. I think that there's a couple other women's side. Obviously, I think Tyra moves up. I think Jilly B is going to move up. I really do.
Your favorite girl?
I mean, you've said it. You wouldn't have played with her if you didn't think she was talented.
Sure.
She has talent. She was a good player before she retired and ruined Duper. Now she's back to playing. Duper is back to being steady. It's getting there. Sounds like they're making some good positive changes. So that's good. What's your Duper? What is it? 6?
I think it increased. I don't know. So, would it be? Yeah, I don't know. Like 6.6.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. I think Ben's like the only one over 7, isn't he?
Annalise got to be up there.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
What's your Duper?
It's like a 4. 7 something.
It's way inflated, right?
Well, dude, I actually looked because somebody called me out on my duper, like they're roasting me. I've never said I was a good pickleball player. Let's just be clear.
Roasted.
Let's just be very, very clear. I've never once said I was good at pickleball.
Can you be a good coach then if you're not good at pickleball?
Yeah, I'm a great coach. Okay.
GM?
I would be a great GM. I have an eye for talent. I'm a great scout. I've discovered many of players in my day. Okay. But they thought they were roasting me and they weren't. First of all, you're not roasting me. Second of all,
Big boy.
I don't have a match in my duper since 2021. So who's
You
to
haven't
say?
been logging ours?
No, well, I should. I should log all of ours. It'll probably help me. Even if I lose 11-0, it probably helps.
Yeah, I think it does.
Anyways, point is, I've improved in 2 years. Just kidding. I have no idea. But duper is just, yeah, it's a mess. Anyways, I think that in the women's, I think that you see those two move up for sure. I think Tyra and Yana move up.
So you think only 2 are dropping from Premier?
And Jilly B.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was 3 or 4. I don't know who those other 2 would be, but I feel like there's going to be more mixing up.
I mean, I think you'll see it. I think you'll see more. And I think that, like I said, I think you're going to see people take flyers on these young up and coming players and hope that they kind of catch that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what you do with partnerships, right? Like I've seen you do this. Like Paris Todd, when she burst on the scene, you reached out, you played a couple, tournaments with her, right? Did you play 1, 2?
1 or 2.
Yeah. You guys played a couple tournaments together because you knew she was going to be a good player. And then she kind of just blew up and didn't want to get challenged and went to the APP.
Yep.
But Anna Bright, same thing, right? When Anna Bright first started playing, you reached out to her, you played a couple tournaments. And again.
So if you're an up and comer and want some experience, I'll gladly play with you. And then as soon as you start winning, then you can move on.
But again, just to throw that out there, Pickleball Scout over here, who may have put you onto those players. Just saying.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And so I think that we were going to see that. Like, do you see somebody take a chance on a Vivian Glassman?
I could see Vivian, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just don't know who would be dropping down.
Yeah, that's
what
the thing.
I'm saying.
Is who drops down? But is it does Simone opt out?
Yeah. I doubt it. I think she likes MLP.
Yeah.
It's good money for those players.
Okay. What about someone like Elise Jones? I'm saying like as Elise Jones.
Should we call her right now? I got her on the phone. I'll text her right now.
I mean, let's do it.
Jimmy wants to know if you're playing MLP season 2.
She's playing 100%. What I mean is does an owner look at Elise and say, okay, Elise, Lindsay Newman, well, they're interchangeable. Okay. Mm-hmm. Does an owner look at Elise and Lindsay Newman and they say, okay, they're defensive specialists, right? They're 100% right side players, those two. Elise plays singles, but she doesn't play a lot of singles. Mm-hmm. And she hasn't had a ton of success. I mean, I think she has 1 bronze maybe in a singles. Lindsay Newman doesn't play singles. Mm-hmm. So if you have those 2 and you're like, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to get with these 2. And Riley, you're not going to be able to pair Lindsay with Riley for whatever reason. Do you take a Glassman instead?
Yeah.
Or do you take Tyra instead?
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying as an owner, and then do you think, okay, can I catch lightning in a bottle where, by November or by December, Glassman is the next big thing, which Leia thinks she is, right? Mm-hmm. She went on another podcast and talked about how amazing she is, Obviously, Anna Bright thinks she's great. You're going to play some tournaments with Glassman, TOC, right?
Yeah, I think we have 2 or maybe 3 lined up.
Yeah. So just saying, like, as an owner, if you owned a team, you got to weigh your options, right? And obviously, it's going to depend on who you draft before that. So yeah, so who do you pick? I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. I think that's where the owners have to weigh, and I think it really depends on how the draft falls, right? Do I think Elise Jones is not going to get picked? Of course not. But if I'm an owner and I already have if I take Riley Newman 2nd overall, right? And then I pick 20th and I'm able to add Lacey Schneeman, for example. And then I turn around and I pick 22 or whatever it is. And I'm able to add Tyler Loong, right? Now, do I want someone like Elise or do I go and get somebody like a Vivian Glassman? And right. I mean, it just kind of depends. I think that
Yeah, I mean, MLP is crazy. That's why people love it. There's so much volatility that comes with it. I mean, it's rally scoring, and so it's harder to get into those momentum, those just normal, long, grindy points.
Yeah.
So
who do you think, in your opinion, who does better at rally scoring? Is it the streaky guys?
So we were talking about this a little bit ago, and in my opinion, I think there's risk associated with it as well, but that's why Rafa, Julian, Thomas, AJ, all these players, they like rally scoring because they can get hot, and it seems to pay off for them. However, you came at it where the ones that you thought were doing well were the ones that were more consistent. Yeah,
I think consistency matters, obviously, in rally scoring because with every point, having a huge impact, and every point, every rally.
But I mean, for the most part, if you're winning more than 21-15 or even 21-16, that's almost a blowout.
It is a blowout for sure. And I mean, and you said on the last pod, 16-16 is almost a guarantee.
Yeah.
Like if they do gambling in pickleball, like once they do that, if you can bet that, go put all your money on, on it being a close match. Mm-hmm. If the line's like -3 or -4,
you're within that.
Yeah, you're going to be within that for sure because they're always close. And it doesn't matter who you're playing. Mm-hmm. Like you said, Frisco was not good, but DJ and Zane had a close match with you and Ben.
One of our closest matches was against that team, the team that was supposedly the worst, that didn't win one team match. Yeah. We had a very close match with them.
Yeah. And every game, it's close. They're just close matches, and rally scoring allows that because, like you said, you miss a serve, you miss a dink, you miss a return. Everything counts as a point.
Yeah.
And so you have to be on, like, there's no tweener king trying to go through his legs and doing all these weird things because it's like, hey, that's going to cost you a point.
Yeah. So much to talk about. Anyways, maybe look out for Jimmy at the next draft. You might see him. He might be incognito, maybe in a suit, maybe in different colors.
Is there a dress code?
I don't know. You'll have to dress up as a fruit.
I should. Like Fruit of the Loom back in the day.
Fruit of the Loong.
Fruit of the Loong. Ooh, okay. Look at you. Yeah.
Yes, so much to talk about. Real quick, I wanted to get your thoughts. So, in one of the forums, I can't remember which one, there's this one guy, I think it's this one guy, maybe it was somebody else, but somebody said if Ben had Collin, they would have won the super final.
It's the eye roll.
Thoughts?
Okay. Here are my thoughts.
And then I'll tell you my thoughts afterwards.
Okay, here are my thoughts. If Ben had Collin, they would have had the exact same results. Okay?
Do you think they even would have been in the situation to be in the super final? It might not have even
been in the situation, exactly. So let me tell you why. Okay? Number one, I think that you actually complement Ben's game very, very well. Okay? I think that you allow Ben, because you're a lefty, to cover as much of the court as he chooses, but you still always have that forehand in the middle. Mm-hmm. Okay? Which, honestly, it actually allows Ben to be more aggressive and Ben to take more chances, which I don't know the stats on this, so gym class, but I bet you that Ben is more aggressive with you than he is with Collin. Mm-hmm. Okay, because you do have that forehand in the middle and because of your athleticism on helping him. The second thing is, I think Ben helps you on your Ernie attempts and things like that because he, again, can cover so much of the court, right? And it allows you to essentially move freely. Mm-hmm. Okay, Collin is a grinder. Collin likes to grind out points. He's not rarely going to speed anybody up. I think there was one match where someone posted a stat and he was 0 for 1 in a 5-game in speed ups. Literally 0 for 1.
Yeah.
Like he's just going to grind out points and he's going to let Ben pick and choose and stick his paddle in and decide. Okay, so do I think men's would have had huge difference of results? I think it would have been fairly similar, but I think in some matches in rally scoring, because he's trying to grind out so many points, teams could have got hot on you guys and they could have ran off 6-7 in a row while Collin's just sitting there trying to reset balls. Mm-hmm. And so I think that you and Ben actually were able to counter a lot of that aggressiveness. And I think that you, in a rally scoring MLP format, you played better than him and Collin would have done. Okay, number one. Second thing is Collin John sucks at mixed. I've said this before. I've said it a million times. He's not a good mixed player. You are a much, much better mixed player than Collin. And so that's the other thing is there's no way, there's not a chance in hell that him and Megan or him and Etta do any better than you and Ben. Also, throwing this out there, look at Collin's results pre-Ben. Not saying Collin hasn't gotten better, or when Collin doesn't play with Ben, right?
Yep.
Collin plays with other people. Collin plays with, this guy or that guy, right? So look at those results. There's just a big difference, and he's not like the same, yes, he's number one, technically number one in the world, which is wild. But you look at his mixed results and they're not good. He's usually 1 and 2, 2 and 2. He's never making quarters, never, ever. He doesn't play singles. Not that he's not a good singles player.
He's actually a really good singles player.
Yeah.
It's not the singles that is a hindrance to him. It's not singles.
Yeah, but mixed, he's bad.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that it would have made any difference. And I think it's such a weird argument for people to make. They just assume things. And I don't.
All right. What about I choked?
Well, if you choked, you all choked. Because one, dude, I've told you this before. I will always be honest with you about things. Okay. Let me just be really clear. One, the ladies set the tone and they lost 21-6. That's the very first match of the super finals. Mm-hmm. There is no way in hell. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are Michael Jordan. There's no way that you don't have a little bit of a letdown after watching that. Mm-hmm. It's impossible. And I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying that that's how the tone was set. There's no way that the Pioneers aren't down here and the Mad Drops are on cloud 9 now, because Irina and Catherine just came out and just blasted your ladies and blasted some ladies who have beat them several times in a row. Okay. So there's no way that energy shift wasn't real. Then in the men's match, it was close. It was 21-19.
Yeah.
It was 19-19 at one point. So if you, and then in the next match, Ben and Etta lost. So Ben lost twice. You only played one match.
Yeah.
Megan only played one match. Megan actually played like a quarter of a match, but you played one match. So if anybody choked, wouldn't you have to put that on Ben? Like Ben got to play twice. Even you losing your match didn't actually lose, or losing your game didn't actually lose the whole match. You still had a chance to play mixed, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think that's so weird that Ben's getting a free pass on this, because honestly, Ben did not play well. And I know Etta couldn't get her drops down. I get it. They weren't great. But Ben didn't play well either.
Yeah, I'm not calling anybody out. I love my team, and I wish we could keep playing. I'm addressing the fact that some people were saying that I choked. And like you said, I only played one game. I feel like I say things as they are for the most part. If I play good, I say it. If I played bad, I say it. I did not feel like I played great by any means in that match, but I also didn't think I choked or played horrendous. Yeah. I thought I played fairly average, maybe a little bit lower, but to say that I played extremely bad, I don't think I would agree with. And then that one guy, Josh Gartman on Twitter, he does all those statistics and everything like that. And me and Ben, up until the entire MLP season, including the super final, we had lost 2 matches.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that there were no other teams that did that.
And your point differential was highest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so to say that, and then also me and Megan, minus this last MLP, we were like 90%. I think we had 2 losses.
Yeah.
Almost every other single team, they had way more than that.
Also, so this is what's crazy. We talk about how close rally scoring is. You and Ben, I think, led in differential. Okay. But it was at 53%. Mm-hmm. Doesn't that tell you how close? Like leading all of MLP in differential is only 53%.
Yeah, it's not that big of a gap.
Yeah, that tells you how close every single match is.
Yeah. And so, if Collin were in my situation or he replaced me, I don't know, because it's hard to do the hindsight thing. But
hypothetically, you think that Collin's better than you?
No, but I know this one guy, George, he calls Collin the best right-sided player just to get under my skin. Yeah, I do think Collin's great. His defense is, I think it's probably...
Collin plays a very, very good role.
But the thing I always say is, look at the results outside when they're playing with different partners.
Yeah.
When they play with one person, it's easy to see what the results are. But you look at Pablo, you look at Collin, you look at me, you look at all these other players, and are they able to adapt? Are they able to change with different partners?
Has anybody played with more partners than you?
I play. There's a lot. AJ switches around quite a bit.
True,
there's quite a few that switch around.
Yeah, but I think AJ and Collin played together in a tournament. Was it Minnesota, or was it Collin and Deckel? I don't remember, but Ben doesn't play indoors because he got beat by Spencer Smith, so he won't play, and J-Dub, so he won't play indoors anymore. But anyways, Collin he's played a couple tournaments because Ben took that month off, and he didn't have any results.
Oh yeah. What I was going with that also is I believe the Dink came out with a article, the newsletter, and it said that they wouldn't be surprised if I went down to Challenger.
Would you be surprised?
I mean, I think anything can happen.
You're not going to Challenger.
I think anything can happen in MLP, but
the only reason they posted that was because you were picked later last time. But the problem is the way that this works, okay, is you have to go like you don't have to go, but the way that it works is there's only 24 guys picked.
Yeah.
And there's only 48 players total. So somebody's going to go, like if Ben Johns is your first pick, do you really need to reach for a guy in the second, third round, right? Yep. You don't need to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ben's going to win mostly in men's doubles at least with pretty much anybody he chooses.
Any of the top 24 guys, right?
Most of the time.
Like if you were to put Ben with Hayden, he probably does well, right? You put Ben with Gabe Tardio, he probably does well. I think
they'll lose more than 2 times though.
Well, I think so too. I agree.
It'll be very interesting to see how this next season goes.
Yeah, I agree. So anyways, I just think that it's so stupid. People, I don't know. I know that Ben's the GOAT. I get it. I will never, ever take that away from him. He's earned it. He's the best player on the planet. He's proven it time and time again. But he's also not he lost to Ben Newell and Philip Locklear, right? Like, I know it's a one-off, but it doesn't mean that he is completely and totally untouchable and every single match is the most amazing match ever. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Anyways, I agree. I just thought it's funny. There's a lot of spectators, fans, and even some players that are a little bit in their head. They think they know one thing when in reality it's quite a bit different than that. And you talk to a lot of the players and they understand who in MLP does well and who doesn't. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for this season too.
Hey, speaking of partnerships, there's kind of a big deal happened this week.
Yeah, this week? What, Matt and Riley?
Yeah, Matt and Riley.
Yeah. I actually think it happened maybe like 3 weeks ago or so.
Oh, really? And Riley just announced it this week?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think Riley, like when he was in China, shot Matt a text? Like if you were to break up with somebody, let me ask you a question. If you were to break up with a partnership, would you text him or would you call him? Like a Matt and Riley partnership.
It depends on how the communication has been up till then. I mean, if you do everything via texting, then
I think you should fly out there and break up with him in person.
Show up at the door.
If you
have a box of cookies.
If you were 27 for 27.
All right, give us the summary of their partnership. So they've played in 27 tournaments.
27 for 27.
And they have medaled in 27 of 27 tournaments.
Yeah. So if you're 27 for 27, you better fly out there and show up to their house. That's like, seriously, let's throw all this out. They've only beat the Johns brothers, I think, once.
Once or twice.
But
it's been a while.
Yes. But 27 for 27 is insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty impressive.
That's very impressive.
So, but what Riley's thinking is he wants gold. He wants gold. And he's willing to take that risk. He feels like maybe he's tapped out his potential with Matt.
Rumors, AJ, Thomas, Wilson, and Julian are the people that Riley will be mixing with through this year.
So Seattle, he's already signed up with Julian for Seattle. Mm-hmm. You can see that online, so that's official. I think he's going to try and catch lightning in the bottle with one of them, mix in. And those are 3 very good players and 3 very streaky players.
By the way, I'm predicting it now. Matt and Riley is going to be a huge rivalry.
Tyler, it's going to be insane.
Those matches, lots of chirping, lots of come on, stare downs.
Yep. And you know that how the PPA can swap seeds like 5 and 6, 7 and 8 are interchangeable. They better put them on the same side of the bracket. What's the next tournament? Is it Denver?
Denver, which a lot of the pros are already, or they're planning on taking off.
Yeah, but we do know that Matt and James
will be playing that. They were already scheduled to play that, though.
Is James going to drop Tyson and play with Matt?
I don't know. They're scheduled to play the rest of this year. I mean, for the most part, right?
James and Tyson?
I think so.
Yeah. What if he dropped Tyson for Matt?
That would be interesting. That would almost be like karma.
It would be like karma, but is it an upgrade?
Maybe
That's a long pause.
Tyson,
That's a long pause.
to my surprise, has done incredibly well this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I think Matt has, he's got much more firepower. Yeah. He's got much more counter attackability. He's able to counter punch much better.
Yeah, I think so too.
But Tyson, he doesn't miss much.
Okay, so let me ask you this just from the inner workings of pickleball. Okay. Does Selkirk have a say?
I don't know if they have a say per se. They might say, hey, it might be nice if you guys play this tournament, or it's good for content. It looks good in videos or photos or something like that. But I don't think that they would say, hey, you have to play with this with this person. If they did, then I don't think.
Would they struggle though, with say James drops Tyson in the middle of the season? Would that be look bad for the brand?
I don't necessarily think it looked bad on the brand. I think it'd reflect more on the person.
On the person as opposed to the brand. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
If Selkirk had a history of all their players dropping people, then maybe. But I only know of 2 or 3 that routinely do it.
You want to say any names?
I've just heard of a couple that routinely do it.
Kathina? Huh?
That might be in the mix.
Can I be your handler? Can I be Athena? Can you send everybody to me?
Are you going to start traveling? Because last time you said you were going to come somewhere, you didn't.
Well, I'll travel if I need to, and I'll just sit there courtside with my arms folded, looking all mad all the time. Smile once in a while. It's not that hard. Your partner is killing. She's doing well. Smile.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Anyways, be interesting. Okay, going back to Matt Riley or Riley's partner situation. Julian, Thomas, AJ. Do you think it would be worth it for Riley if he starts going 2-2, 3-2, 1-2, but he gets gold in the next 5 to 6 months? Do you think the split up would be worth it?
So here's the thing: I don't think Riley cares about the medals. Okay, I don't think he cares about the seconds, the thirds. I think Riley is trying to get the golds. Mm-hmm.
So you say it would be worth it if he's able to get gold within the next 5 months.
Well, it's not even a gold, though. He's got a gold with Matt. He's got to be able to beat the Johns brothers 1 out of 4. I'm going to say 1 out of 4.
And who does he have the best shot with out of those people he's playing with?
My opinion is Thomas.
Okay.
I think my opinion is Thomas Wilson with a healthy Thomas Wilson. I actually think, I think Thomas, I don't know, maybe I oversell that guy, but I think he's a really good player. And I think that a healthy Thomas Wilson and Riley Newman can beat Ben and Johns in a 2 out of 3.
I'm just going off my horrible memory, but AJ and Thomas, granted it's a different partnership, have played Ben Johns quite a bit. And I think there's been once or twice where they've taken them to 3 games. Yeah. But for the most part, the Johns brothers have them down.
He's just trying to, like I said, he's trying to catch lightning in a bottle. He's trying to catch one of these guys, Julian Arnold, and he's trying to get him hot, and he's trying to play the Johns brothers in the.
But with the PPA format, it's so difficult to be hot and stay that way for the entire day.
100%.
MLP, you can do it for 1 or 2 matches just like that.
100%. But if with where they're going to be seated, because now the seedings are going to be jacked.
They're going to be so messed up.
They're going to be completely jacked. Yeah. So say they're seeded.
They're playing first round now.
Yeah, but maybe not first, but say they play them in the quarters, right?
Yeah.
And so for once, he's not catching them in the finals on a championship Sunday, and he plays them in the quarters. And you beat him 2 out of 3, get hot, and you beat him 2 out of 3, right? Now Julian doesn't have to play his best in the next 2 matches because, Riley's confident that he can beat, J-Dub and Dylan or James and Matt or whoever without, Julian being his best. But he needs Julian to freaking catch fire against the Johns brothers.
Yeah.
And I could see it. I could see it happening. I could see a little upset, 1 or 2, just like what happened at MLP, right? Mm-hmm. Julian got hot. He caught fire. It happens.
I wonder, this is just me speculating, I wonder if the turning point for Riley was Texas Open. They played against J-Dub and Dylan, and J-Dub and Dylan just beat them pretty good, 5-5.
It's either that or it's when they played Ben and Collin and San Clemente, and they took 2 out of 3, mm-hmm. and then you lose 11-0, 11-1.
Yeah. They lost 22 of the next 23 points.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So,
and after winning the first 2, wouldn't it be funny though if it really did happen before that? Like it sounds like maybe Wouldn't it have been funny if they beat the Johns brothers?
Then they have to go back. Actually, let's keep
He's
our
like,
partnership.
hey, Riley. Yeah, Riley's like, my bad.
I actually did hear of a funny story. I'm not going to say who, but this one partnership, they weren't getting along and they decided to split off, but neither of them could find partners. And so they decided to just continue.
That's funny. See?
They said, well, we can't find anybody else.
There's a reason we're together. We're stuck. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to watch it. I think it adds drama. We've said it on here a million times. We love rivalries. Let's get more rivalries.
Oh yeah. So I think I've heard that at one of the PPAs in the future, maybe at one of the Vegas ones, they want to do a night where they just have the most exciting matches.
Oh my gosh, Tyler, let's do
like
this.
WWE, just exhibition style, where you play against somebody who you don't like, or that they called you a cheater, or something like that. So we can get Connor Pardeau, Ken Herman.
Yes.
Who else could we get?
Ben Johns, Rob Nunnery.
Ben Johns. Who else is out there?
We can do. I mean, we would have to do Riley and Matt now.
We'd have to do you and Tyson, maybe a wrestling match.
Yes. Me and Tyson for sure.
Matt and Riley, that would be
Let me
good.
play Tyson. Do you think I could get 1 point off Tyson in singles?
No. Well, if you try to go nasty him,
1 point?
you're not getting a point off Tyson.
Not one.
No.
He wouldn't even like. Okay, what if I went rally scoring and he went?
Oh yeah,
traditional?
rally scoring for sure.
But you don't think I could get 1 point?
Not in traditional scoring.
You remember that drive I hit past you?
I don't remember that.
Saying, okay, I think I could get one. You don't?
He would call it out.
Oh well, that's true, for sure.
Yeah, I mean there could be some exciting matchups.
Oh, dude, it's. I think that would be actually really fun. Yeah. Well, they do All-Star Weekend, right?
Yeah.
In Vegas. I mean, that's when they should do it. They should do like rivalries. But what they should really do is they should make you guys play with each other.
Yeah. Play with them.
Yes. They make you, or they should do.
Pull a Zane Affleck and play with your AirPods.
Yes. Wait. Okay, listen. So there's this show on MTV called The Challenge. Okay. And I'm sure you don't watch it.
I don't watch that filth.
Millennials these days. And basically they take these reality stars and they put them through a bunch of challenges. They make them live in a house, all this, okay? Maybe my favorite show. I'm going to age my... Anyways.
Is it still airing?
It's still airing. It's on this like season 30 or something. But they do different themes for the shows, okay? And one of them is rivalries. And they make you play with... Like your partner is your rival.
Gotcha.
And so what if they...
what
if they did
that makes you learn to...
Yeah, you got to... Yeah. So what if they did a fan vote... Mm-hmm. And the fans voted for who the best rivals, and the rivals had to play together.
Yeah.
Like mixed, it would obviously be you and Jilly B. You would have
I actually wouldn't mind playing with her.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'll just make sure to throw into my rules.
Yeah, like you would have to. Like, anyways, I just think it'd be fun. I think Lucy and the Waters having to play together.
Yeah.
I think that Matt and Riley. Like, I think it would be exciting.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of stuff going on. I think the next 2 weeks are kind of a lull. But also, there's a lot brewing. Yeah. Like a lot of stuff that's coming up.
Connor hinted that gambling could be at the next tournament. Like it could be official.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, of course. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's exciting though.
Anything else you wanted to brush on before we got to questions?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, you know, I love obviously pickleball, but the inner workings, the drama, the partnerships, I mean, it's wild, dude. Like pickleball partnerships might be like the most dramatic part of the sport. You know, like I don't know. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
I know, like I talked to a pro and she was like, literally was like, I hate asking people. And I said, you're a good female pro. Like you should have.
What do you mean for partners?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I was like, you're a good female pro. You should have your pick. And she's like, I know, but I just hate it. I hate reaching out. I hate asking. I hate having to tell people no.
On the topic of that, there needs to be some serious lines and guidelines and rules about when players can drop players. With the whole Matt Riley situation, there's so much commotion going on right now. There's so many people who have been reaching out to one another. Hey, I have this tournament opened up. Hey, do you need this tournament? And everybody is switching partners right now.
Yeah.
So I think... I mean, it's fine to switch partners, but you can't do it like 2 to 3 weeks before because, I mean, everyone's just has their plans already set.
Yeah, I agree with that for
so,
sure. And it messes
there needs to
with
be
seating.
something. I think that PPA or whatever they put out there and just says, hey, 3 weeks before a tournament, a month before a tournament, which truth be told, I mean, most players have their whole year mapped out for the most part. So
that makes sense. Yeah, well, let's get into some questions.
Okay, questions. This was a little bit late. I posted on my story literally 4 hours ago. I'm actually surprised at how many people chimed in. Anyways, if you have any questions, we do have a new podcast called More King of the Court, and that's where we're directing a lot of this traffic to.
Oh, you mean Instagram page?
Instagram, yeah. What did I say?
Podcast.
Oh, sorry about that. Instagram page. All right, so I asked.
Ooh, that'd be fun though. More King of the Court, like a little extra
Exactly.
outtakes.
All right, we're going to go through these quickly. Who will Riley's partners be? We already answered that. From what we've heard, Thomas, Julian, and AJ, a mixture of those three. What are the biggest inconveniences of a tournament weekend?
I would say obviously I'm not a pro, but I would say start times for you guys and when your next match is going to be.
Yeah. I mean, start time. Well, yeah.
Start time's the same, but then when's the next match?
Yeah, scheduling.
Wait times, scheduling, yeah. And which is one of the things you told me, which makes MLP nice, right? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, 10-2. Yeah.
Advice playing with lefties on your team as a right-hander. Stack. Keep the forehands in the middle. I don't know. What else?
Yeah, I think stacking is the biggest thing. It's a huge advantage.
Use
it to your advantage.
Use it to your advantage. Learn how to move as a team and kind of work on strategies and pinching the court.
Yeah.
You really want to focus, kind of target one person or the other.
Yeah.
Can you bring a pickler to North Idaho and show Tyson what's up? We are expanding. I don't know if we've announced any Idaho locations. We've announced Arizona, which I'm stoked on. Chicago, I'm super thrilled on.
4 of them, right?
Yeah. I want to go out to those grand openings. I have been to Chicago.
I'm
not like you. I've been outside of Utah.
New York, but
This guy hasn't even left his home neighborhood.
Please.
Does Ben talk while playing? Looks like he is a silent partner. He does talk. I mean, sure, his energy and body language is quite a bit lower than most. But I mean, he's always like that. I mean, he's very, very mellow.
Yeah, he seems pretty. One of Ben's biggest strengths,
Also maybe weaknesses
is that he never gets too high, never gets too low.
Yep.
And so he's not ever really going to get super pumped up, but he's also never going to get really low. And sometimes I think that you play off of your partner. And so, yeah, if he would get pumped up, I think it would help, Like I felt like truly that Etta, and Etta's kind of similar, but I felt like Etta almost plays like really low with Ben, where when she plays with Megan, it's like she elevates a little bit because Megan's more of like a, at least once in a while, a little bit of a fist pump and yeah.
I would agree. Ben can get away with it because he chooses his partners. Collin is his brother. He knows how he's going to react. Annalie, she's the top female. She knows how he's going to react. But when you get in these situations of MLP and stuff like that, then I think that's where a lot of overly positivity helps and goes a long way, especially in mixed.
Yeah, I agree.
We already answered that one. Our boy is back at it again with those insider questions.
We're going to
skip a couple of them.
Okay.
So he says, which pickleball paddle manufacturers are actually 100% made in America? That's a great question. If I were to ask you that, would you know the answer to this, Jimmy?
So this reminds me of 2 things. One, do you remember that guy that brand Lions Not Sheep or whatever it's called, and he was saying
Utah,
and he was saying they were made in America, but they're actually made in China, and he was ripping the tag off.
Yeah.
But he came back and was like, they're processed in America. So I think we see that even with paddles, but I do know that Vulcan, at least the 700 series, is like legit made in like Tennessee.
Yeah.
I don't know if the components are brought in from somewhere else, but I do know that like the 700 series Vulcans are made like in Tennessee. They're like almost like hand forged or something like that.
Yeah, I've actually been to the facility. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Selkirk and its specific paddles in Selkirk. It's only a special line. They outsource quite a bit of their paddles now. Vulcan, they do make some of their paddles in America, but almost every company. Paddle Tech, they make theirs in America as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But like you were talking about, a lot of these, they're bringing in the materials from China or outside of America.
Yeah.
And so for a paddle to be truly 100% made in America, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Pickleball machines, yay or nay? I'll go with yay. You?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything bad about them. I think that I would always
The cost, they're pretty expensive.
the cost, but I mean, MLP champ over here is what's the cost. But I think that, if you want lots of reps, that's the best way to get reps. I still think playing with a partner is best. Drilling with someone is best because the ball, comes off paddles different. There's different shot shapes, things like that. But yeah, if you just want to get reps, machines are great.
Sir Paul Douglas, what do you think about the Dink article saying you could get drafted to Challenger? We addressed this. I could. I think anybody can.
Would you play in Challenger still?
Well, I was wondering about that because I think there's a couple other people that if they did drop down to Challenger, I don't know if they'd want to play.
Wait, I could draft you.
I could. You are not going to be my GM.
I could be your GM.
No, assistant to GM.
Tyler. I'm almost rooting for you to drop.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
I'm just kidding. You're not going to challenge.
I thought it was a little bit interesting. We talked about it. Alex Pickleball, please describe things for those of us that listen to the pod rather than watch it. Okay. All right, we'll try to describe things in great detail.
This ball is green. It's fluorescent.
How many holes does it have? Crown pickleball. We're holding a pickleball in Jimmy's hand right now.
Yeah, I don't know, but it does have a crown on it. And yeah, anyways, okay. We'll do that better. Sorry.
How long do you think it will take for the PPA to make Jimmy a commentator?
So let's talk about this. So I legit somebody reached out to me and they're sponsoring a PPA event coming up. And I was talking to them and I said it in passing.
I'm sure it was passing.
And I just said, hey, I think that they should let me commentate. And this person said that they actually thought it was a great idea and they were going to talk to the PPA.
It's not happening.
Here's the problem.
Tell us the problem, Jimmy.
Tyler had a talk with, it's okay if I share this, right?
Pardo, yeah?
Yeah. Connor Pardo walked up to Tyler and basically just said, hey, I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but how's the pod going? And Tyler's like, oh, it's going great. And then Tyler said, when are you going to come on? He said, I'll come on with you, but I won't come on with Jimmy.
We got to get Jimmy out of here. I'm pretending to throw Jimmy out.
But hey, guess what, Connor? That means you are listening to the pod. Otherwise, yes. Second of all, please come on, Connor. Let's bury the hatchet. Me and you. Also, please let me commentate for the PPA. I promise you I'll get you more than 200 views or whatever it is. Let me do grandstand court.
They get a lot of views on their center court.
And you know what's crazy is I was surprised at how many more views PPA gets than MLP. Of course, MLP has 4 courts going at once, but yeah, let me do the grandstand court commentating. I think I would do well at that because not as many people listen and I can kind of say whatever I want. So
Alex LaHoon, he said, thanks for name dropping me last week, but can you say my last name right? It's LaHun. I'll never say that right. LaHoon.
LaHun.
All right. Of all the cities you've traveled for tournaments, which city has the best food? I like New York. Jimmy would not know because he hasn't been there. New York is great.
I love Chicago, but Tyler wouldn't know because
I've been there. Not very long, but I've been there.
Airport doesn't count.
No, I've been outside the airport.
You can't count. To what? Smoke a cigarette? You can't count airports.
Vegas, they have great food. California.
Honestly, if you ever go to Vegas, hit me up. I got a whole Vegas menu. I will change your life.
I don't know how this person asked this question, but they said, does Jimmy play in the PPA or MLP? Huge fan of how blunt he is, by the way.
Makes sense.
Do you play in the PPA or MLP?
Played a PPA event once. Didn't go well.
Who would Tyler want to be on a MLP team with if he could pick a team? I mean, in a perfect world, which would never happen, it would be Ben Johns, Annalee, and doesn't matter who else after that.
Really? Who's the second best female? Catherine? Anna Bright?
I mean, going off of record, probably Catherine at the moment. She's had a crazy year this year. Really good.
So if it was you, Ben, Annalee, and Catherine, would you lose?
No. Actually, maybe we would, but...
Who would you play mixed with?
Either. I'd love to play with Annalie. I've never played with her.
Really?
I was on a little team event with her, and I was going to play with her, but then I did not. So,
Okay.
all right. Is the general behavior of players like Arnold Hewitt good for fan interest in the pros?
Yeah.
I would say yeah, for sure. I don't know if all the pros like that or even spectators like that, but I think it's good. You get a lot of haters, but you also get a lot of fans.
Yeah. I say stuff about these guys because I think that they get in their feelings and they get upset when people chirp back at them. But I think the chirping in general, I have no issue with it. The issue that I have with it is when
The reasoning behind it.
the reasoning behind it, and then when you get upset if somebody says something back to you, right? Like start it, get crazy. Like the Andiamos thing is taking on like a life of its own. I think it's great for the sport. I
Oh,
think
he's
it's,
playing that so hard.
yeah, and I think it's exciting, and I think it really is good. But then that means that you can't get upset when people chirp back or when fans say something to
Yes.
you, when you become. You or say I'm a Tyler Loong fan, for example, right? And I show up wearing my acacias and eating my mod balls, and you start chirping at Tyler, and I boo you. You can't get mad at me, right? Because I'm a fan of Tyler, and you're chirping at my favorite player, and vice versa, right? That's what's going to happen.
Real quick, we're going to get political. So
Okay.
Julian says
who'd you vote
Andiamo, but I don't believe he's Italian. Is that cultural appropriation?
Maybe. Is Andiamo Italian?
Yeah, it's Italian.
I don't know. He's not. What is he?
It's not Italian from what I've heard.
Really?
Yeah.
No, then yeah, he's not. He doesn't have right to say that. I'm taking that away. Who's Italian on the PPA that can take that?
There's this one guy who actually approached Julian, and he was talking to him about Italy and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we take that away?
I don't know.
I bet he's Italian, like Olive Garden's Italian.
Maybe a long line like his
like-
great.
He's like
something.
when you're here, your family.
Yeah.
But no, you can't. Yeah, he can't use that. Do you think he like say he's going somewhere, like say he's at home, and like Lauren's being slow doing her makeup? Do you think he's like Andiamo? Like starts yelling at her? What do you think?
Well, with the sell of his new paddle, it comes with a button, and it's his voice saying Andiamo.
It does
and
not.
You can
Wait, for real?
Yeah, for real.
Like the easy button that you could get
Yeah.
like Staples or
Yeah.
whatever? Stop.
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
How many of those paddles were left in the parking lot because you got them for free after MLP? Like, did you run one over with your car when you were leaving?
We were out of there. We were the first ones out.
I know you were. They were like going to hand them that little plate. Yeah. By the way, shout out Brooks Wiley. He's got some good ideas instead of a plate. Maybe ribbons next time. Oh, yeah.
They're a fan of the pod. All right. What's the new paddle you've been using? This one actually has the inspected OK. So it is USA pickleball
Have
approved.
you actually used that paddle though?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah. This is my new paddle. It's not out for release yet. It's the paddle I've been using. It was very similar to my previous 730, the black, orange, and blue one. However, it's not as elongated as that one was. And so the sweet spot is quite a bit bigger. You still get a lot of pop on this. And so that's why I like this paddle. You still get that elongated feel.
Thickness?
13 is the thickness, I believe.
Okay.
For Alex Hamner, I'm holding the 730 in my hands and I'm kind of looking at the camera.
Okay. You think I can get one?
They're pretty
I know someone who can
pretty confidential right now at the moment.
I bet I can get one.
Anyways, I've been using it for the past 2 to 3 months or
And
something.
you're liking it? Loving it?
I am liking it. Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
Can we see the height difference between Tyler and Jimmy? I don't want to make Jimmy look small, so we'll save this for another time.
Very similar.
How tall are you?
6'2".
With shoes or without?
No, without. Dude, I'm legit. Like I'm a legit 6'2". It's not like pickleball where I lie about my height.
Why did you decide to change the color of your signature paddle? They kind of provided a couple different options, and I went with that color scheme. I like the black and gray, white colors. I'm more of a muted person, and so I thought that fit my style, my personality a little bit more.
Personality. Tyler's an introvert.
Yes and no. Craziest pickleball story? I don't know. I don't have any off the top of my head.
I mean, it's always going to be something about Zane or something crazy or some But maybe we need to do that in the next pod. We'll come up with some crazy.
How do you feel about thermoformed raw carbon fiber paddles? Have you hit some? What are your thoughts, Jimmy?
That's a very aggressive question. Just kidding. You know what? I honestly, I'm so like, what's the word? I'm easy when it comes to paddles. Literally, like, I don't really care how they were made. I don't care where they came from. I don't care. Like, I'm so simple. Like, if I like the feel, right? When I like the touch, then I'll play it. And I know some people are very into paddles. Like, they're like insanely, I mean, they want to walk through and they want to inspect them and they want to go to the factory before they buy a paddle, and more power to you. But I just truly don't care enough.
Agreed. I think they feel very good. The only thing that I've noticed and a lot of these paddles, truthfully, they come from the same factory.
Yeah.
All the carbon paddles.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
And they're like the same mold even is what I've heard.
They all feel very, very similar. They feel great. However, I feel like a lot of them lack power because they almost absorb the ball so much and it feels good on the dinks. But when you're trying to put something away, it's a little bit more difficult too.
Yeah, and I've used the carbon. Like, I have a carbon in my bag. I didn't love it. Like, it was fine. But so if somebody's looking for a carbon.
Why won't you change to a carbon fiber face paddle? I feel like they lack power at the moment. If they're able to change that, I'd love to explore that. Have you always been into computers and new tech? Yes, for at least the past 15 years, ever since junior high, high
you're
school.
a big tech guy, right?
I'm a techie. Yeah. I'm always checking the specs on the latest computers, phones, cameras. I did order a couple new bear bricks, so I'm excited for that.
Okay, look at this guy.
Yeah. Have you heard of Cause?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ordered one of his pieces.
Just throw this out there. I have the Jordan Cause Force, just saying.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What's the retail on those right now if you were to sell them?
2,500, I would guess. Yeah, I would guess.
All right, we're going to speed through these next ones. I'm a 4.5 doubles and singles player. How many points could I score on you in singles? Depends on how much money they gave me. Just kidding. I'm sure you could get.
I could score a point on you in singles?
If it's traditional scoring, no.
Really? Should we film that? And
Yeah.
one point.
What do you mean? What, 1 point?
Yeah.
Well, then you wouldn't get 1 point. It'd have to be like a game.
I know. I'm saying if we played a singles game.
Oh, you couldn't get 1 point?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Me versus you, what would the score be? 11-0?
Well, it depends on how incentivized I was. If it was just
there'd be something on the line.
like $10 or something.
Like, I need something like legitimate.
Yeah, it'd be 11-0, maybe 11-1.
Like, I would want you to play hard.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
Okay.
Let me hit the treadmill.
Are you the new partner of Riley Newman? There's actually been a lot of speculation that I might be. He has not reached out to me.
Disappointing.
A lot of people know that he is not my biggest fan. I would play with him.
Put it out there. It works, right?
What is wrong with Jilly B's shoulder? She walks around constantly shrugging. Thoughts?
Maybe she has scoliosis. I don't know. I have bad posture. I legit don't know.
What is the upper limit of Tyra Black's abilities in mixed and women's doubles? You talk to her all the time. What would you say?
I actually think that by the end of the year, Tyra is going to be top 10 in women's. I do.
I would say the top 5 is very impressive in women's.
Yeah.
Top 10 is impressive as well, but I would say the difference between the top 4 to 5 versus 6 through 10 is pretty significant.
I mean, she's already the backdraw queen. She already finishes 5th in singles every single time. Can she break through and get to the top, 3? I think by the end of the year, I mean, she's not even a full year into being a pro yet. So I think so. I just think she's that good. I think she's really, really good. Her issue is going to be way more mental than it is physical. Mm-hmm. She has this huge mental block, something that you've mentioned.
I haven't mentioned that.
Well, that you've mentioned about certain players when they play like Ben Johns.
Gotcha.
She has that mental block. And I don't think she listens to the pod. Maybe she does. But when it comes to Anna Bright and it comes to Annalie Waters, who she actually trains with, she has a massive mental block in tournaments against them. Because I know in rec play, she actually does very well against them.
Why do so few pros use Vulcan? I think this is just kind of relative. It was funny. Up until maybe 2 months ago, me and Jay DeVilliers, who are Vulcan's sponsored players, we were the only 2 players in the top 10 that used the same paddle manufacturer.
Really?
And so outside of that, sure, there might not be that many, but I think it just kind of varies on what you're looking at in the territory where you live. In the Midwest, where Vulcan's based out of, Vulcan is very popular. But if you're in California or Florida or something like that, then you might not see as many. It's a lot of the paddle manufacturers. It's very territorial based.
Yeah.
When are you and Jimmy playing a tournament? When's the next fundraiser? I don't know.
Tell me. Tyler,
Charity event.
What, like Make-A-Wish kid? Is that what I am?
Besides Ben and Annalie, who would be some of your top picks for partners? JW would be fun to play with. Federico, Dylan.
How would you and Dylan do?
I think we would do well.
I think you would too.
He's got really fast hands.
Yeah, I'm high on Dylan. I've told people this before.
Are you ever going to add a backhand topspin dink to your game?
Did you see that Odoff video?
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
It was kind of funny. And then did you see Anna Bright's tweet?
Yeah.
She was Team Tyler, but I felt like she was like, it was a backhand compliment.
Yeah, it was a very backhand compliment.
Yeah, she was.
I mean, you've got to be sure when you attack that you're going to win the point. I'm not going to be AJ or speeding off the bounce or just taking a lot of risk. I mean, that ball, it honestly was maybe 6 inches to a foot over the net.
But what do you think about her saying strategically you made the right choice because it was JW and JW has faster hands than you?
Well,
I mean, she's clearly just taking a shot because she's
sure. She was trying to be funny, and it was okay.
It was very average.
It was average.
You've had funnier.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I mean, once again, it just comes back to I'm not going to risk it, especially in that situation. I think it was fairly close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and then the other thing I'm going at, I say this all the time. I sound like a broken record, but
say it.
If I got a good backhand, so right now, where do most people hit on me?
Your backhand.
My backhand. Okay. If I got a good backhand, would they continue to hit there?
No.
Maybe not. Probably not.
Yeah.
And when they hit it to my backhand, that opens up the court for me to do my favorite shot, which is the Ernie. And that allows for the other person to take more court.
Yeah. Also, Callie Smith's favorite shot now.
Callie Smith's favorite shot. She does a lot of tutorials on how to hit the
Ernie King, she's the Ernie Queen.
There we go. Maybe me and her should partner up.
I mean, it makes sense. You live by each other.
Anyways, I mean, I do need to work on my backhand. It is something that I am working on, but a little bit, honestly, subconsciously, I like to keep my backhand maybe slightly weaker so that people will hit to that corner because I slide so far over to my right that if they are hitting to my backhand, that usually means I can Ernie the shot.
Yeah. Listen, don't.
This is your girl, Tyra. When is Jimmy going to play a PPA? He's banned.
Oh, Tyra does listen to the pod.
Also, any new release info on your new paddle? They're supposed to be coming out with it, I think, September, but they've said that multiple times. Also, what players would you like?
Hey, you can't say that about your sponsor.
Well, they keep pushing the release date back. You can say that. It was supposed to be out already.
Okay.
I'm just saying they've pushed the date back.
Okay.
Calm
fair.
down.
That's fair.
Calm down. What venue are you looking forward to for season 2 MLP? Peachtree or La Quinta?
Is Peachtree the same one where you guys play?
Yeah.
But I saw that you've never played Thousand Oaks.
Yeah, so I'm not sure which one that one's at.
So Thousand Oaks is the one in November, and it's at Sherwood Country Club, which is a massive. Like they do PGA events there. Tiger Woods that's where Tiger Woods wrecked his car and almost lost his leg just barely last year. It's a big, it's a pretty big country club. So
cool.
That'd be fun.
All right, I didn't think this one would go as long as it did.
Always does, Tyler. Always does.
All right. Well, thanks again, Jimmy, for your time. We know your time is very valuable.
So valuable.
If you need any loans, hit Jimmy up. Oh, somebody actually did mention. I can't remember where it was.
Hey, while you're doing that really quick, dude, one thing, okay? I'm going to get in my feelings for a minute, but hey, I have people that watch this podcast, friends, family that literally know nothing about pickleball. They've never picked up a paddle. They don't know anything and they just watch to support. So shout out to those people. And what's funny is they'll text me. I have my buddy Nick lives in California. He's a big sports guy. He doesn't know anything about it. He's never played pickleball. He's a lefty though, so maybe
he'll be the new Tyler.
Maybe the new Tyler. But anyways, he texted me and he's like, dude, I don't know anything about pickleball, but that Alshon guy really sounds like a douche, or like, sorry, I shouldn't say that, but, and then he'll be like, hey, next episode, are you going to recap San Clemente? And I was like, bro, what are you talking, like, you're watching now?
Yeah.
And so anyways, thank you.
Shout out to those people.
That's awesome.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
Make
love
sure to
y'all.
comment, like, share.
Yes.
Real quick, we're going to do a recap with our sponsors. Pickler Shop. If you need any gear, go to picklershop.com. Use code, what is it?
Pickler Shop's KOTC now.
KOTC.
Yeah, big
for
time.
a big discount, which we cannot say
Bigger
because
than 10%.
yeah,
Because MAP.
MAP. We got Crown Pickleball coming in hot. Make sure they sell out of their next shipment of balls. Use code KOTC.
Yeah.
You won't break them. You might lose them, but you won't break them. And then mod balls.
Mod balls. Yep.
This one's still my old code, Loong10, LOONG10, modballs.com. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Oh, yeah, and shout out to the crew. They know who they are.
We'll see you.